What is the Dell XPS 13? Below continues my Dell XPS 13 review from the end of 2016. Dell's XPS 13 is back for 2016 with an updated specification that includes more efficient Intel Kaby Lake processors and longer battery life. While the 2015 edition won our coveted Laptop of the Year award last time out, the 2016 model faces stiff competition from rival Windows 10 machines such as the HP Spectre, Lenovo IdeaPad 710S, Razer Blade Stealth, and the veritable bargain that is the Asus ZenBook UX 310i. Then there's also the brand new MacBook Pro to contend with. Despite the rise in competition, Dell does more than enough with the XPS 13 to make it the most desirable Windows Ultrabook around. Dell XPS 13, Design and Build. The new XPS 13 design has been around for a couple of years, but nobody has successfully replicated its trademark infinity edge bezel that gives this machine its unique profile. It still looks great, as does the carbon fiber finish on the palm rest. The palm rest does start to look a little greasy after use, but it's not as significant as it is on darker, metal-finished laptops. The lid, previously only available in silver, can now also be bought in rose gold. The same color is also found along the bottom half of the laptop's edges, which makes for a slightly odd-looking pink bronze sandwich with a matte black filling. I'm not convinced that it looks better than the silver model, but many of my colleagues were smitten with the new design, so it's clearly a matter of taste. Like any pure metal laptop lid, I was obsessively worried about scratching it, and while I didn't damage it during my testing, a ding or two feels inevitable in the average life of an ultra-portable laptop. The model I was sent for review is the touchscreen version, which weighs in at 1.29 kilograms. If you pick one of the matte, non-touch models, that'll drop to 1.2 kilograms. It's neither lightest nor the heaviest in its size category, but it certainly won't be a strain on your shoulder when it's stuffed into a satchel. You get a full complement of useful ports on the XPS 13, including two full-size USB 3.0 connectors and a single Thunderbolt 3 USB 3.1C combination port. The latter can be used for high-power, high-bandwidth devices with a maximum throughput of 40 GB per second. It's perfect for high-end monitors and storage arrays, something videographers will appreciate. Elsewhere, there's an SD card slot, a 3.5mm headset jack, and a small button on the left side to check the battery's charge level when the machine is switched off. It's a fine selection of ports that's more generous than all of its rivals, although higher-end users might actually miss the 3 extra Thunderbolt 3 ports offered by the high-end MacBook Pro with Touch Bar. The keyboard is standard Dell fare, with small, backlit, chiclet keys. It doesn't feel overly cramped, even when you consider the Dell's reduced footprint, although the overall design and feel of the keyboard have been made to look pretty dated by the latest MacBook Pro. It's unfortunate, because nothing's changed and it's actually a very good board. Dell XPS 13, Screen. You get two choices of screen on the Dell XPS 13. My model came with a glossy, touch-enabled 3200 by 1800 panel, but there's also a matte Full HD option available. Performance is excellent. I measured its maximum brightness at 303 nits, while 0.3 nit black levels equate to a good 1,010:1 contrast ratio, which produces stark contrast between vibrant colors and more subtle shades. The screen covers 92.6% of the sRGB color gamut, which is great for photographers working in that color space. However, Adobe RGB and DCI-P3 coverage are somewhat wanting, at 71.7% and 67.8% respectively. It's here where the MacBook Pro holds an advantage. Its massive 98.8% DCI-P3 coverage means video professionals won't need an external monitor to get an accurate look at what they're working on, where Dell users will. Dell XPS 13, Performance and Specifications. The Dell XPS comes in a variety of specification options. My review model came equipped with an Intel Core i7-7500U processor, a 256GB SPI SSD, and 8GB of RAM. There are lower specified models with an Intel Core i5-6300U processor, and you can also upgrade your storage to 1TB and plump for 16GB of RAM, an addition video editors will likely choose to make. Performance is snappy thanks in part to the 2.7 to 3.5 GHz dual-core processor, and partly thanks to the speedy SSD. The Core i7 in this machine is a dual-core chip with hyper-threading, which enables each core to be treated as two separate threads, allowing for better performance in intensive tasks such as video rendering. It's a similar setup to that of the 13-inch MacBook Pro, although the base model Pro that costs £150 more than this XPS 13 only gets a Core i5 chip with a lower clock speed. This showed through in benchmark results, where the XPS powered to Geekbench 3 single and multi-core scores of 3,600 and 7,675 respectively, soundly beating the MacBook, as you'd expect. I also tasked our in-house video editor, Tom Honeyans, to produce two identical 3-minute video reviews on both the Dell XPS 13 and the MacBook Pro, and while both handled the editing process in a very similar fashion, the Dell was over 2 minutes faster when rendering the video, taking just over 5 minutes to do so. Something to consider is that the XPS 13 doesn't get Intel's Iris graphics, making do with Intel HD Graphics 620. This means it'll be slightly slower than both the MacBook Pro and Lenovo IdeaPad 710S when working with video effects. None of these machines are for gaming, though, so while it will make a difference, all will offer a compromised experience. The 256GB SPI SSD is extremely fast as well, putting in a Crystal Disk Mark read speed of 1,316 MB per second and a write speed of 626 MB per second. This is significantly slower than the MacBook Pro and will make a difference when loading large video files directly from the SSD, but in general use it's hard